But my doctor just got back to me with her comments, and I'm gonna read you what she told me, and you'll see why this is so funny when I read it. So, welcome to the vlog. It is Sunday night, May 8th? Yeah, May 8th. Like, my mind is really kind of all over the place. Just like my symptoms have kind of been all over the place. In the last video, basically, I was talking about quitting treatments and quitting low FODMAP, and you did see me getting really sick from quitting low FODMAP initially, which initially when I quit low FODMAP, it made my symptoms significantly worse when I first quit. But then after a few days, I got used to it, and my symptoms were basically the same as they were when I was doing low FODMAP. Like, basically, FODMAPs are not really triggering anything anymore. Like, even gluten appears to be fine right now. I don't feel like any single food is worse or better, except for the foods that are better are the foods that have always been better, which are low volume foods. Low volume foods are just easier because A, they're high calories, so I can stack my calories really, really easily, and B, they're just a small volume in my stomach. Even if those foods make me feel sick sometimes if I eat too much of them, I can get way more calories from those foods until I feel sick compared to like an apple or oatmeal or just any other like more whole foods based type of item. So yeah, that's my update on diet. As far as the Miralax, yes, I'm still doing the Miralax. The past like few weeks, just 4 doses every single day. And the reason behind doing the Miralax before the x-ray is actually really important. So I wasn't just like doing it to do it, you know? I was doing it for a really specific reason. And the reason is that for a lot of gut issues, doctors, I'm trying to think how to say this, like my mind is so foggy because I'm in so much pain from bloating. Like, I don't really want to kind of call bloating like chronic pain because I feel like I shouldn't really claim that, you know, for it. But I do have painful bloating so much that it's just like, it makes me so irritable because I'm just walking around in pain and it's hard to move and it's hard to breathe and it's just hard to do anything. So when I have bad bloating, no matter what time of day that I have it, normally I just have it all day now, but it gets worse at night or like after a meal. My normal non-bloated stomach size is actually 26 inches. And when I'm bloated, it normally gets between 34 and 36 inches. So it's like I have 10 extra inches of like hard, solid, bloated stomach. And it's just so painful. Like, it makes me so irritable. It makes me not want to wear clothes, like except for like super, super loose clothes. It makes me not want to like go out. It makes me not want to move. Like, it's so hard. It even gives me headaches. It's just so painful. I don't know if I mentioned this, but like my symptoms have been really all over the place. Sometimes my nausea is worse. Sometimes my appetite's lower. Sometimes my bloating is worse. It's kind of like whack-a-mole with my symptoms. Like, I always have those base symptoms of like nausea, low appetite, food aversions, bloating, and some vomiting sometimes depending on the symptoms. But like, it's really whack-a-mole-esque, but it's just always every day I don't feel good for some reason. Like loss of energy, just all the stuff. Just, I have such a bad headache right now. It's hard to think. I think I was talking about the reasoning behind the Miralax. So basically with stomach stuff, doctors want to treat with over-the-counter first. They want to treat with Pepto-Bismol, they want to treat with Tums, they want to treat with antacids. Like, that's just doctors' first go-to with stomach stuff, is to see if over-the-counter stuff works. And so that was the approach with me. Like, they basically wanted me to take a bunch of Miralax, to take laxatives to see if that helps like make my overall GI motility better, I guess. So if I take the x-ray and they find out that I have a big stool burden and I haven't done the Miralax, they're just gonna go back and tell me to do the Miralax. They're not gonna like look deeper. And I want them to look deeper if there's something to look deeper into. So I wanted to kind of be ahead of it. You know what I mean? So that's why I was doing the Miralax, so that if it does come back with a stool burden, I can say, oh, well, I've been doing an extreme dose of Miralax for 3 weeks. So we need to look into why I still have a stool burden if like doctor's most go-to laxative at a high dose is not working. Back in December when we went to the hospital, and I got a CT scan because we went to the ER because I couldn't stop throwing up. And so in December we went and we ended up getting a CT scan with contrast. When we got that scan, they found a huge stool burden and I was shocked. Like, I was completely shocked because at that time I was eating lots of fruits and veggies, well, as much as I could with my symptoms, and I was drinking a lot of water, and I was taking magnesium, which is like a natural laxative, every single day, and I was going to the bathroom 2 or 3 times a day, like really good quality, I guess. And I still had a huge stool burden back in December. And then like the colonoscopy prep that I did like a month later cleared it all out anyway, so we don't have to worry about it. But like when people like assume that slow motility is just constipation, it's a lot more complicated than that. And if like food is getting stuck in places in your body and not moving through properly, you know, you could be going to the bathroom fine or like in a way that's not a cause for concern necessarily, and you could still have just tons of backups in your stomach, in your small intestine, and in your colon. So it's a lot more complicated than constipation. And since I've been doing the Miralax treatments, I have not been constipated at all. I've been just having almost constant diarrhea. So like, if like 3 weeks of Miralax, 3 weeks of like constant diarrhea does not clear what's in there and I still have a big stool burden, we're gonna know that we're dealing with a much bigger issue, and I'm going to be terrified. And I'm really scared that that's gonna happen because my symptoms are still so bad. If that doesn't happen, that is, I guess, good news, but it also means that there will be no treatment for me right now until I get worse. So like, if this x-ray doesn't show anything, then there is no more treatments to do. We've reached the end of the road for right now, and we have to just wait and see if I get better or worse. So that's the other frustrating thing is like, so like, I just feel like there's no good option because the x-ray is either gonna show something really, really bad, or it's just gonna lead us to giving up on treatment. So that's where we are. It's complicated. And I don't have nothing else to say. I'm in a lot of pain, so I'm gonna go, but I will walk you through the x-ray experience tomorrow. So it is Monday morning. Obviously I have the day off work to do this. I'm really, really tired. I even went to bed early than I normally do last night, and I'm just like really, really tired. I'm also really, really anxious about this test. Yeah, and I woke up a little later than I wanted to because I'm so tired. It's like 7:30. I was gonna wake up at like 7 and try to get there like when they opened, but that didn't happen. So yeah, anyway, I'm gonna get dressed and get on my way. So I'm in my car, I'm dressed. All I'm really wearing is like a tank top and a pair of black leggings and a sweatshirt. It is very, very cold outside, which I did not expect. I was told that I can go to any Duke outpatient facility, so I'm going to go to the one that like I think I can get to the fastest, and then we'll see if they can do an x-ray, and if they can, I guess they can direct me to a place that can. I don't know. This whole day is going to be consumed by this. All right, I'm gonna be on my way and I will show you what happens when I get there. So I am leaving now. Obviously I did not get my x-ray. Well, I guess you don't know that, movie magic, but this is like 10 minutes from when I got here. I'm leaving. So there was just like no staff really around. It was very like sparsely staffed. I didn't really see any people, and there were all these different floors with different specialties, and none of them looked like it was what I needed. So I went in and asked, and they were like, yeah, we don't do any x-rays here. So I decided, like, you know what, screw it. I'm not gonna keep driving to these little places, these little like smaller Duke Health places to find out if they even do x-rays. That just seems stupid. So I'm gonna go to Duke Hospital, Maine, which I didn't want to have to do, but that's what I'm gonna have to do. So I'm here at Duke Medicine, Maine, like the main Duke Hospital. I've parked at one of the 2 or 3 parking decks that there are, and as you can see, I have parked at the very, very, very top spot, or the top level, and that's because I just find parking decks extremely claustrophobic. It's one of my biggest stressors in going to cities and stuff like that. So if I can park up on the top floor in the sun where my car is gonna get warm and no one's gonna park near me, that is ideal. So I've parked up here and I'm going to walk down, find some stairs or something, and go see where I need to go to get this freaking x-ray. So I'm in the stairwell now because oddly the stairwells are really warm, and also like no one really goes in the stairwell, so it's a good like quiet place to vlog. But basically I'm already done. I'm really glad that I came to the hospital after all, because there's just so much more staff and stuff here that like it just goes really, really fast. And when I said my name, there was already a request for an abdominal x-ray in for me. So that made it really easy as well because it was already requested. So I didn't have to like go through anything explaining what I needed or what was going on. They just gave me a wristband, sat me down, and then I was only waiting for like 15 minutes. They took me back. The x-ray was just one picture, that was it. I was maybe in the x-ray room for like 2 minutes, got my stuff, and now we're here, going home. I could not find an exit, so I just popped out here, and it's like Duke is the only place where you can't find an exit to your hospital, and you like just pop out into all this like gardeny gothic architecture. Oh my gosh. Like this is literally the hospital clinic. Oh my goodness. I'm sure if anyone watching this, like a lot of my friends are from North Carolina, they're probably not surprised by this at all. But I feel like every time I come to Duke, I'm just like, dang, what is going on? So I'm so like nervous over these results that I'm trying to do like little tasks around the house to kind of distract myself. And currently I'm working on the mountain of laundry that we have let piled up. It's really hard for me to keep up with the housework, like just with the normal exhaustion of like everyday life, not to mention like how bad and sick I get at night. So there are certain things that we just let go, and one of those is putting away our laundry, but I'll show you what I'm working on. So this is everything that I've folded so far, and this is everything that I still have to fold. So anybody who lets their laundry get like this is all clean clothes. It's just like we get it out of the dryer and we just like throw it in this big pile. So we're working on it. I'm still drinking my coffee, and I literally still feel exhausted despite drinking coffee. Alrighty, so it's like 1:30 and I still don't have any result. Basically you get two types of results. You get the raw results, which is just like the images or whatever they took, and then like usually a few hours later you get like your doctor's actual interpretation of the results, and I have not gotten either yet, but I did finish folding the laundry, so I will show you that. The laundry mountain is now folded laundry mountain, and then there's just the sheets left that usually Robert will deal with. Robert usually does the sheets.
Oh yeah, I handle the sheets. I handle the sheets, and I tuck Linnea in every night with her koala, which she sometimes calls a llama or a panda or a kangaroo or something when she gets all confused. She's sleepy, but you know, it's a good time.
Thanks, babe. Okay, so my heart is beating out of my chest. Like, So like I got my initial results, which are like the results from the radiologist who basically read my x-ray and like gave the initial results. I have not gotten the results from my doctor yet, but basically the x-ray showed that I have a moderate stool burden in my ascending colon, which is the part of my colon that comes out of like directly like from my small intestine. And you guys know that this is coming out of 3 weeks of like overdosing on Miralax, and I have a stool burden. So I guess my intestines don't really work right, which is kind of what I thought all along. But yeah, I am full of crap after like 3 weeks of basically cleansing myself, and that's really freaking terrifying. Like, this is what happened last December when I'd been taking laxatives and eating super healthy and walking around a lot, and I came back with a huge stool burden from the CT scan, and I was like shocked. And now here we are again in May from an x-ray. I have a huge stool burden. I can only imagine how big the stool burden would be if I hadn't been relaxing. Holy crap. Literally, my whole body is like shaking. Like, I'm just so anxious because I don't know what this means, and I hope that my doctor gets back to us. Yeah, something's actually wrong with me. It's not all in my head like I've been told by people or whatever. Like, I'm so shaky. Okay, I'm just gonna stop vlogging right now and just wait till my doctor like gives her advice or whatever. So I thought I would film this on our porch. I'm laughing right now pretty hard. We have a really nice porch, like also just like super nice. I love this aspect of our apartment, and just like looks out like onto like the forest, so it's super nice. But my doctor just got back to me with her comments, and I'm gonna read you what she told me, and you'll see why this is so funny when I read it. She says, there is a moderate stool burden, especially on the right side of the colon, more so than the left side. I wonder if underlying stool burden could be causing some of your symptoms, which yeah, I agree with you, it probably is. I would encourage you to take Miralax 1 to 2 capfuls once or twice daily to ensure that stool keeps moving through your colon. So basically, she thinks that this is the stool burden from taking no Miralax, but little does she know this is the stool burden from taking 4 capfuls a day, which is her max recommendation, because she says 1 to 2 capfuls 1 to 2 times a day. I'm about to message her back and see what happens. So I just messaged my doctor, and I'm gonna read to you what I said to her. I do agree the stool burden is likely worsening my symptoms. Per your previous advice, I was taking 4 to 5 capfuls of Miralax daily to the point where I had diarrhea every day, but I continued because I was still having symptoms and it was what you said to do. So the stool burden shown on the x-ray is after 3 weeks of extremely heavy Miralax use every day. Please advise what to do now. And I sent it. So basically they say allow up to 48 hours for a reply, although my doctor is typically really good at getting back to me soon. So we will see. I sent this right after she sent her message. Oh gosh, like she does not know how bad this is. Like she does not know. You can see like when she's seen it, and she saw it at 3 o'clock, but she did not reply. And so it's like 3:30 now and she still has not replied because I don't think she knows what to do with me. which is not surprising. I think she's probably shook, like, oh my gosh, this person's intestines are broken. I'm also shook, believe it or not. So I'm in our living room with my heating pad because basically the bloating pretty much by lunchtime most days causes me a lot of pain. I'm getting really into heating pad usage. This is the day after the x-ray. See, my brain fog is all over the place. Well, it's not like brain fog, it's just like emotional exhaustion. Basically, I thought that I was emotionally ready to handle finding out that my intestines did not work very well. Anyway, I thought I was ready for it, and it turns out I was not ready for it at all. I feel like I am in a dream. Like, it just feels like, you know when something really bad happens and then you're trying to process it and like you don't know how to process it, and so like you just kind of feel kind of like numb and just like out of it, and you're just like, I don't know how to process this thing. Like, this thing does not make sense with my reality. That's kind of where I am. And I thought that I would not be in this place when I found this information out, because I thought that I'd prepared myself enough for this outcome. And I definitely have all the symptoms of this, so like it shouldn't be shocking, but somehow it's shocking because I'm a human being with human emotions and I don't want to be sick. So that's where I am. And my doctor and I, for the past like day, or I guess yesterday and today, have been going back and forth about treatment. We don't know where we want to go with treatment as of yet. My doctor is leaning towards having me do like a colonoscopy prep that's not using Miralax, like a different type of thing. And then she also wants me to try this new medication that they give to people who have chronic intestinal issues, which apparently I do. And I might be on that medication forever. I don't know. There are already meds that I take that I'll probably take forever for other issues. So like I've already come to terms with that in my mind. It's emotionally difficult to come to terms with being on med forever. And anyone that has had to go through that, like, my heart goes out to you. I've already been through that in my life, and I've already kind of grieved, you know, living med-free. So I'm not too concerned about that. I just am concerned about finding a treatment that will work so that we can move forward. I think it finally like hit me. Just, I don't know, it just like hit me like, this is happening. And I kind of realized like, oh my gosh, like, this has been getting worse for the past few years, and the medication that my doctor gives me will hopefully mitigate, you know, some of this, you know, worsening too quickly. But it just made me think like, I have to be really, really grateful for every single day from now on, because I don't know when I'm going to get sicker, or if I'm going to get sicker, or how much sicker I'm going to get. And yeah, I know my symptoms are unpleasant now, but I know for a fact that they could be so much worse. I have been researching this for a long time. And so I just need to like just be so appreciative of the fact that like today I was able to eat. Yes, I was in pain for like a lot of the day, and yes, I had nausea and I had problems, but like I was able to eat today. Like, that's huge. It's just hitting me like, holy crap. Like, now that I know what this is, because when you don't know what it is, it's basically kind of like required of you to notice every bad symptom and to obsess about every bad symptom. And then like it outweighs the good. And I feel like now that I know what it is, I can start to focus on the good days instead of the bad days. And that's very profound. I don't know, just makes me want to cry. I'm a very emotional person. Good night.